Hello, neighbors. Hi, it's Monday night. I'm smiling, but you know, there's some things going on, but they're not really smiling matters. And like I've been doing the past couple of porch talks, I'm just going to give a couple of updates on things, local like meetings, events, important dates, and also just touch on a couple of pieces of legislation that have been being debated at the state level. First, I want to talk about there is a county commission meeting this Wednesday, so 2 days from now at 4 p.m. On the Oracle AI Data Center and Jailhouse Studios project. There's an account on Instagram, if you don't follow it, Hamilton County for Democracy, I think is the handle, who has posted and continues to post a lot of really good, relevant information. The county commission is supposed to be voting on the lease for this on Wednesday at that meeting. As of today, they still have not, the project folks have not proposed any kind of measurable commitment to job creation, what that would look like for our community. They want to, lease from us, but maybe not provide jobs or well-paying jobs or longevity in those jobs. So if you have any interest in that, if you have any interest in the fact that Oracle is owned by Larry Ellison, well, he's the COO, I guess, but who just thinks that your private data shouldn't be private anymore, and that it's silly for people to want to keep their private data private. If you have any feelings about that, or about AI and the use of AI and how it's just being run rampant into everything, and not at this scale a good thing for our communities, please show up to that meeting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go yet. It's spring break. We've got some things going on, so I'm trying to prioritize some family time. So we will see. But also, just a note, if you do attend that meeting on Wednesday, the Jailhouse Studios is bringing a camera person because they want to make a TV show out of this project. And so conversations that you might have privately or think might be private could be caught on camera and could be aired at a future date without your consent, because if you're in a public setting, there's implied consent there. So just be aware of what you're saying or what you think you might be saying privately when you're at that meeting with a camera man or woman in the room. So that's happening. That's important. There is the town hall with Hamilton County Commissioners that has been rescheduled. It's going to be moderated by a local TV radio host guy, Jay. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but anyway, he's going to be moderating this. If you want to hear from all of the Hamilton County Commissioners at this town hall, it's at 2901 Taylor Street on March the 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. They are all up for re-election this year, and they will be, the election is in August, and many of them are being opposed. So I would encourage you to attend this town hall if you can, to hear what they have to say, to help inform yourself as a voter as to whether or not you want to vote for someone you voted for in the past who may or may not have done much for you in your community, your district, or the county in general. So very important, good stuff happening. Also, the voter registration deadline for the May 5th primary is April the 6th. So if you haven't checked your registration, make sure you do that. You can go to govotn.gov and you can check your registration, update it, and just register as a brand new voter if you haven't registered in the state of Tennessee before. And also, if you meet criteria for an absentee ballot, you can request that now through April 25th. That's the last day to request an absentee ballot. So just make sure you've got those dates down. Okay. I think those are the dates for now. just wanted to touch on really quick, and I don't have a date for this one. Yikes, I'm sorry. I did post something in my stories about it, but I just saw today that there is a bill in the House and the Senate, House Bill 2219, Senate Bill 2223, where they're trying to mandate a 287G ICE contract for all counties in Tennessee. The party of small government. So if you want to check out that story that I posted to find more information about when that's going to be heard in committee, definitely do that. I'm also going to be checking that, keeping tabs on that, because Hamilton County already, got picked with their hands up. But this would apply to all of the counties across Tennessee, and it would be mandatory. Also, House Bill 793 passed the House today, disgustingly so. Really gross. Going to require schools to check immigration status of children before allowing them to receive public education. I'm really, really upset about that one. Kind of a hard time we're living in right now, friends. Anyway, just make sure you're keeping up with these things that are happening at the state level and at the local level. There's a lot of overreach happening, and we have to take care of our neighbors, and we do that by being informed. All right, local stuff. On to Red Bank agenda, actual meeting agenda items for tomorrow's meeting. Nothing too crazy. So if you guys are not interested in Red Bank business, no problem if you need to hop off, but it's pretty mundane stuff, but we've got a monthly financial update that our CFO will be giving. We're going to have a discussion only about what the installation process would look like for putting in automated speed enforcement in our school zones. We already had a meeting where we discussed this after Chief Seymour, our police chief, talked about just kind of very beginning stages of that plan. So this will be a much more detailed plan. And as we discussed at that time, those speed enforcement cameras would only be active during school zone times, like when the school zone is active and those lights are flashing. So we'll get some more information about that. We're still not voting on it yet. So if you're interested in that conversation, what those details are, definitely tune into the work session tomorrow at 5. Got a few things on our consent agenda. A lot, actually, almost everything's on our consent agenda. So we'll be just briefly looking at the report that came out of our annual commissioners retreat that just happened on February 24th, talking about adopting our readopting our mission vision statements, and also the goals that we're setting for the next calendar year, so to speak. Because we vote on this usually around this time in March, and then we have our retreat again in February. And anyway, so it lasts for that length of time, March to February. So we'll be talking about those goals, and then which one of each of the commissioners are kind of like the appointed champions for that goal, just to kind of like keep talking about it, keep the conversation going, give updates as they're appropriate to give, along with the appropriate staff members who are doing most of the legwork on these things. Speaking of AI, we are looking to approve a very basic AI policy, but basically to put in parameters and guardrails around the use of AI in specifically Copilot, because it's integrated with Microsoft, which is the software system that the city of Red Bank uses. So this AI policy is available in the agenda work session packet if you want to take a look at it. And if you have questions, if you happen to be a very technical person and have any thoughts or feedback, please come to the meeting tomorrow and share those before we vote on this. I read through it and it seems to cover the general basis of things that I would be worried about as far as using AI to automate things or, to streamline certain types of procedures. But I'm not a tech person, so I would gladly accept your feedback. Item number 5 is kind of exciting, very exciting. We will be accepting a charitable donation from the Red Bank Soddy Daisy Foundation. They allot money to us and to the city of Soddy Daisy every year. And this year the funding will be used to make improvements at the dog park at White Oak Park in the form of benches and some agility structures for the dogs in the dog park. I know that's been something that people have been wanting and complained about for a very long time, that it's kind of boring because it's just a big grassy area and there's, it turns into a mud pit sometimes. So very exciting to have them there to present us with this donation. Very grateful for that investment that we'll be able to make at the dog park. So yay. Also, let's see, item 6, purchase of 2 work trucks for Public Works. We actually had approved this back in August for 2 EV trucks, and they put in the order immediately, and apparently Ford said we're ceasing production indefinitely, is my understanding, potentially going to restart production, but maybe on hybrid vehicles. Because we don't have any kind of timeline on that, we're going to go ahead and purchase 2 just regular gasoline vehicles because the other trucks are very old and need to be replaced. So this was budgeted. Item number 7 is to ratify an emergency repair for the brush truck, one of the brush trucks for solid waste. Something happened with the boom arm and there are stress cracks and it had to be replaced. And they went ahead and paid for it because it was an emergency. They wouldn't have been able to continue working with that piece of equipment in the shape that it was in. So we are having to ratify that emergency expense. Item 8, authorize repairs at the Red Bank Police Department building. That is for roof repairs, and that will come out of our ARPA allocation for facilities maintenance and improvements. Authorization to upgrade to LED lighting in the police department and both fire stations. That's also going to come out of ARPA allocation for facilities improvements. And then authorization for repairs to the Public Work Department's bucket truck. It needed hose assembly replacements. And so again, it became a situation where it wasn't going to be operational. So we have to repair that. This isn't a choice that we are able to make at this time. It just has to be done. And then the last item is authorization for signal pole replacement at Morrison Springs Road. And it's at, I think, the 27 interchange. A driver crashed into the pole. You can see it. It's very badly damaged and dented in. The push button doesn't work and all of that. So we're having to replace that. There will be able to be reimbursement from insurance at some point, but in the meantime, we have to get it replaced to get it back up and running. So that's it. The only other items that we have on the agenda are the second and final votes to renew our appointment of Judge Brian Haas as our judge who's sitting in for Judge Johnny Houston while he is unable to be with us for medical reasons. And then also 2 rezoning requests. We voted on these last time. This will be the second and final vote. So it's a rezoning from R1A to R2 residential at 520 Gad Road, and then R1 to R2 residential at 3390 Easton Avenue. So if you live near there and you have questions, comments, concerns, just make sure you show up to the meeting tomorrow, because when we vote on it, that'll be the final vote on that, and it will be officially rezoned. So, okay. Local elections matter. All elections matter. Thank you for bearing with me, sitting through me crying. Lots of feelings. Anyway, I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, you know where to find me. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 at our work session and 6 for our regular meeting. Good night.